This is probably one of the most important parts about doing any kind of networking, looking for work, anything like that, is the follow-up. So what we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about creating a follow-up, what I call a follow-up sequence. Okay. And if you've been in sales or marketing, you'll know what sequence means, but let's illustrate what that means. Okay, this is what most people do. This is the most common thing that I hear pilots do when they think about networking, right? I'm going to call a company, right? Okay, I got the phone number. I'm going to call them. Maybe I talk to the chief pilot. Maybe I talk to the director of operations, right? And then sometime later, I'm going to apply to that job and I'm going to hope that they remember me from that conversation that we had. And sometimes this can be a really long period of time. This could be months. I've talked to them. Hey, we had a good conversation. It felt really good. Time passes, their application window opens up. Then I send them the application and maybe I follow up and be like, hey, it was me, remember? More often than not, this is what that actually looks like in that person's brain, right? They're like, they probably have conversations, they're doing business, they're doing their own operation, maybe they're flying as well. They don't remember what happened 6 months ago, right? So the goal with follow-up is to stay top of mind, right? What we want to do is we want to be a real person in their lives, someone that they're familiar with and they're comfortable with. And the way to do that is to do more of a sequence, right? So look at the difference between this kind of touch point versus that other kind of touch point. The other kind of touch point, we just call them once and we follow up, once we apply. This is more about having what's called a multi-touch sequence, right? And so we're going to have a reason or come up with reasons to communicate with these contacts at a very regular interval. This comes from sales practices. This would be like a sales sequence. This is why whenever whenever you fill out a form on a website, they always are like, you'll get an email every couple weeks or every month or so. That's what this is. All they're doing is they're just trying to stay top of mind. They're like, you were interested in buying a electric bike at one point in time. Guess what? We just got new batteries or whatever, right? They just tell you over and over and over again what it is they're doing. So we'll follow the same kind of concept when we do our outreach, because that way we can stay top of mind with these customers or with these companies so that when we actually get to the point of applying, well, they'll be familiar with us. We're not going to be somebody they talked to 6 months ago. Okay, so on the contact sheet within this tool, what you're going to see is you're going to see this date. Okay. When you fill out the date associated with a record, so you say like, hey, I met, Brian Childs and I met him on this date. This is the date that either I found that contact or this is the date that I talked to that contact. What that's going to do is it's going to populate this part of the sheet. So for each line, if I fill out, here's September 1st, it's going to say 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, right? And what that's going to be are those going to be your triggers to go do some outreach. So if I met this person on the first, then 1 week later, I want to send them something. I want to get in contact with them in some way. 2 weeks after the initial contact, I want to get in contact with them again. And then it moves to each month. And you're just looking for reasons to get back in contact with that same company, staying top of mind. So let's look at some of these. In the yellow here means that like the date has passed today. So this would mean that like, this is a reminder that like, hey, it's time to follow up with this person. Okay, let's look at some different kinds of things that you can use as your outreach. These are all fair game, right? You get a new certificate. Hey, I got that MEI, or maybe company news. I saw that article that you guys had, or I saw something in the news, or I saw you post on LinkedIn, or I saw you post on social media, or events. Hey, are you going to be going to that conference? Right? Those are all totally fair game. But let's look at the way that these are actually structured. They're very, very short, right? Brevity is key here. You're not trying to write a huge, big, long, thesis. It's just a couple sentences. First sentence, reminder of who you are. Hey, we talked back then. I'm from that place. Whatever it is that you think that they're going to remember. Next, a statement that's associated with this strategy. I got a new certificate. I saw you in the news. Whatever it is, right? Last, salutations. Hope you're doing great. Hope things are going well. Hope business is good. Whatever. In some of these, where it makes sense, you can attach your resume again, right? Just attach it and be like, hey, this is who I am. Like if I got a new certificate, hey, I wanted to send you my updated resume with that certificate attached, right? It's fine. You can attach it. They can see it. It's great. So what that does is it allows us to keep top of mind with these companies so that when the time comes for them to actually start hiring, you're not just somebody they talked to a long time ago in the past, you're actually someone that they're familiar with. And you want to use that tool and use some of those different questions to both start your conversation as well as keep them updated. So hopefully this helps and gives you some ideas of how to use this tool. And of course, always be creative, try to find your own things to do as well.